I was pushed out of LA and into San Francisco Bay Area because the energy in LA was not right for me. So here's what happened. I grew up in LA, went off to college, and then came back after graduation because that's where my family and friends were. But once I came back to LA, nothing seemed to pan out. I became a teacher and taught for a while, but that career wasn't right for me. Then I started a tutorial business, but after several years, it went under, leaving me completely broke with lots of debt. And afterwards, I tried to get a job, but I wasn't getting any callbacks. It wasn't just my career that wasn't panning out. In LA, I felt so alone and secluded. The relationships with my friends and the people around me at the time were codependent in nature because the emotional support only went one way, from me to them, which, left me feeling lonely and unseen. And I was living in the poorer part of town where there were almost no trees and everything is made out of concrete. There were gun shootings, carjackings, and helicopters shining light on the street looking for runaway criminals, and none of those were rare occurrences. Right now, I live in a neighborhood full of nature, and people come out in the morning and evenings with their good-looking dogs and smile and say hello to passersby. It's one of the highlights of my day to walk around and feel the trees. But back when I was living in LA, taking a stroll around the neighborhood was out of the question. Most of the time, I was inside my home with the doors firmly locked and the blinds closed. Anyway, all in all, I felt like I was getting pushed out of LA. Nothing was panning out. Nothing. At the same time, I kept getting intuitive hits that I should move to San Francisco. I talked about this in a few of my previous videos, but for maybe around 2-3 years, I kept having the same lucid dream of living in the SF Bay Area. And my dream was so specific. In the dream, I would see myself taking the BART, a subway train system, into the city. I saw myself living in a neighborhood with lots of trees, hills, and rivers. It got to a point where I knew the place in my dream so well that every night when I would return, I would know exactly where to go and what to do. So one day, as I was looking for a job, on a whim, I went on a job listing website for San Francisco region. And I happened to stumble on a job posting that looked interesting. So on the spur of the moment, I applied. Let me tell you, I was shocked when they called back for an interview, and even more shocked when they offered me the job. Mind you, I couldn't get an interview with any companies in LA, so this job in SF came really easily. It was as if as soon as I opened myself to moving to SF, things progressed really easily. Anyway, I think it was within 15 days, I moved to SF. It was only when I got to SF that I realized that the energy in LA was all wrong for me, and my life had been such a struggle. I wouldn't be exaggerating when I say that my life did a 180. Here in the Bay Area, life that once felt closed off felt like it opened up to me again, and I started thriving. I immediately noticed this sensation like I could breathe once again. I formed friendships with people who were much more balanced, and I also started doing well financially. I was paying off debt at an accelerated rate and even saving some. And the place I eventually moved to, well, turns out it was the exact place that I kept seeing in those lucid dreams I had. I was blown away. The neighborhood, the landscape, and the surrounding area, it was exactly like my dream. And that's when I understood just how important the energy of where you live is. But come on, does the right energy really matter? You might be thinking, come on, maybe your life changed because you finally got a well-paying job, and it's not really the energy. Well, then, let me appeal to your analytical mind and talk science for a sec. If you think about what energy is, in scientific terms, we have light, heat, mechanical, gravitational, electrical, sound, chemical, and atomic energy. But we can trim it all down to basically heat and light. Now, if you were to apply energy into something like milk, let's say, it would definitely change the form of the milk. For example, let's say you put out milk, which is made out of protein and fat, in different temperatures. It would change the form of the milk. If it's out in room temperature for a day or two, it's going to curd and become yogurt. If you boil the milk, it'll separate the fat in the milk and bring it to the top. Now, if you freeze the milk, well, it makes it grainy because of the fat. Now, if milk goes through changes when you apply different types of energy, why don't you think that your body, your hormones, would do the same when your body is made of protein and fat, the same substance milk is made of? So of course energy affects us. I mean, weather affects us. Seasons affect us. The energy we can't see with our eyes would affect us as well. Now, certain places have certain energies. I would say that this energy is created by the history of the place, the people, the weather, the nature, the land, and etc. That's why in places where there is a lot of history with a lot of tragedies, those who are sensitive can feel the heaviness in the air. They can feel irritated or angry or sad, depending on the energy of the place. And this energy goes on to affect people's thoughts, emotions, moods, and even their physical well-being and their livelihood. Same with certain areas that have healing energy. In places like these, there's a sacred, cleansing energy that people who are in tune can sense. So people build temples and churches on that land, which attracts more people of like energy, which then amplifies the energy of the place even more. Just like camels are made to thrive in the desert and polar bears in the Arctic, we all have a unique energetic makeup where if we were to live in a place that aligns with our energy, the thriving part will come effortlessly. Now, if you happen to live in a place where your energy does not match the energy of the area, then you'll find yourself unable to flourish. Life will feel closed off, and you'll feel like taking each step forward is a struggle. That's why it's important to first know what your energy is like and what the energy of the environment is like as well. Well, that was my experience anyways. In conclusion, you might be wondering, how do I figure out if the energy of the place aligns with my energy or not? Well, I thought we can discuss that on the next video. I'll put together some tips and you can share some of your tips and we'll do a whole separate thing. But before I let you go, tell me in the comment section below if you ever had an experience like mine where you suddenly started thriving when you moved to a certain place or even moved jobs. You're probably spiritually sensitive like me, so I'm sure something like this happened. So please share. I'd love to know. As always, thanks for spending time with me talking about esoteric things. I want you to know that people like you make this world feel less alone for people like me. So, thank you. Until next time, regards, Ray.